Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Steps Basic, and with me once again is
Babbling just 720.
and welcome back to the podcast.
I don't know what that was.
Spectacular. That's what it was. So today
Maybe I was trying to put on my Pewds voice. I don't know.
it does kind of sound like a Swedish meatball. But anyway, welcome back to the Babbling Beards podcast. Again, note to anyone who is just joining us for this, hopefully this isn't your first episode, because we've already got the introduction episode up. But if this is your first episode, we play Minecraft in the background. So if you hear anything related to Minecraft, that's where that's coming from. We didn't just steal it to throw it into our podcast.
Yeah, that's just something to keep us busy while we're, chit-chatting.
Yep, the usual.
Not unusual to be loved by anyone.
Well, that's what they say. Alright, so today our topic is...
Our topic is, by the way, something that has been in the making for a little bit, and happens to be both of us, or are, one of our favorite horror tropes in terms of movies, video games, comics, all that other media, and that is the zombie genre. Is it dead on its feet, or is it still biting?
It's still got some bite left in it.
That's
And
what
the
I'm
funny
thinking.
part is, the funny part is, it's one of those things that everyone's always like, I'm so sick of zombies. And yet, when they put out a new zombie thing, everyone flocks to it.
They eat it up like brains.
So, we have a few topics to talk about. Now, obviously, zombies have been around forever. I'd
When
say
was
the more...
First zombie story. I know it was like the Haitian lore and stuff like that, but I think, was it Haitian lore?
Haitian and Creole.
There we go. Yeah,
Zombies.
but those were voodoo.
Yeah, voodoo zombies. Those are different from your standard, eat brains type zombies.
Yeah, they're more like
Literally.
slaves, mind slaves.
Reanimated corpses with no brains.
They weren't always reanimated corpses, weren't they? I thought
No,
some of them could have
no.
been like normal people, just they were like lit, not talking and stuff.
Yeah. They, from what I understand about the voodoo is that zombie doesn't always necessarily have to be a corpse, but that is the most ethical use of them, because they would reanimate corpses. They would also, hypnotize people, suck the souls out of living people, just to make fodder for work, work on the farms, etc., etc. And
That always works.
yeah, of course, there is one of the more famous zombies that nobody ever really associates with zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Well, the monster, anyway.
Yeah, not the scientist, the monster,
Mm-hmm.
or his baby boy.
A lot of people don't really realize that he is, in fact, a zombie.
He's an
Monster.
amalgamation of zombie, because he's a bunch of body parts sewn together.
Yeah, that's actually a form of zombie. In fact, you actually hit the nail right on the head there with the name, the amalgamation zombies.
Or abomination. So, do you want to lead off your questions, or do you want me to lead off again?
Sure, I'll lead off this time because I made you do it last time because I'm mean like that. So, as far as our topic is concerned, what is your least favorite part about zombie tropes and whatnot? Now, of course, we're not just into video games in this one. We're going all pop culture.
Yes, all around, well-rounded. For me, let's see. I guess for me, it's just out of the blue of zombies. Like, let's put it, for instance, we'll do the remake for Dawn of the Dead. Very good movie. I recommend it. I enjoyed it. It scared the pants out of me the first time I saw it.
I love that
sometimes
part
it
with the
still
little
gives me a little
girl.
bit. Yeah.
That part with the little
But
girl in the beginning. Oof.
yeah. But the one thing that kind of annoys me about zombie trope that is showcased quite a bit in the zombie movie of the Dawn of the Dead is randomly these zombies, guys and gals, children, old people, and adults.
Equality.
They're corpses. They're reanimated corpses. They're supposed to be mindless. Yes, they run. I actually enjoy that thought that, they've removed that limiter. They don't have the instinctual limiter on their body to try and preserve it. No, they will sprint until their bodies give out. They don't need to breathe, so that means that, they don't get out of breath.
Right.
They'll go until their bodies literally shred themselves.
Go until you're literally dust.
Yeah. The negative on it is, and this movie's old. It's, 2001 it came out?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So, there's no spoiler alert on this, but I am going to talk about the movie a little bit. There's a part where they're in the parking garage trying to get, I think it's a generator running or something, or they're trying to find a way out, and they kind of get ambushed by a zombie that was, like, hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're supposed to be mindless. How is this guy, like, hanging from a pipe? Yeah, he's lightless. Not Legolas, but legless.
Not Lord of the Rings here.
Yeah, he's not an elf. He's not shooting arrows like Rambo. But he's just, hanging like Tarzan and just drops on the back of one of the survivors and just chows down. And I'm like, that really removes me from, like, feeling like I'm inside the movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's when they can't stay consistent with how intelligent the zombies are.
Yeah, like somewhere out of the blue. Like, I can understand a mutation thing, but that's not mutation. That's random, like, cognition, like, increase, like a massive increase for them, which is really lame in my opinion. It's just there to, I guess, increase tension, and then cause, like, oh, there's a jump scare because you weren't expecting a zombie to fall on you. So
I know what you. I know exactly what I know exactly how you feel on that.
Okay, so what is, on your reverse end, answering your own question, what is your trope that you're not a fan of?
Funny enough, yours is really good. I really hate inconsistencies. If they're going to be dumb, they need to be dumb. If they're going to be rotting, then they can't do things like that rotting things can't do, I need consistency in my zombies. But funny enough, that's not my biggest pet peeve when it comes to zombies, and mine's going to seem lame in comparison to yours.
What's that?
I cannot stand it when they make zombies green.
Green? That's supposed to symbolize gangrene. Oh, I can understand that, though, like when they're alien, Martian-looking green.
Yeah, not like just like a pale green, but like full-on green. They haven't done it quite so much lately, which is, yay. But every time I see it, it just upsets me because human bodies don't turn that shade of green. I mean, there is an argument, like if the body's been sitting out rotting long enough, it can grow moss and can grow, mold and stuff. But, it's not going to turn that shade of green.
Usually the body will go black before it goes green.
Yep. And you'll have, like, bruising and whatnot and where blood is pooled in the body. And that sort of thing is... I love it when they're like, biologically, accurate.
Accurate.
I really love that. But when they just, like, ugh. But when they can't figure out what they can't... Don't make zombies green, people. It just irks me. However, while that's my biggest, like, pet peeve when it comes to zombies, it's not my only pet peeve.
Yeah, same here. I'm about to give you another one. This one's going to go from, as I warned you earlier, this was going to be the biggest pet peeve that I've had from the most recent video game, Resident Evil 2's remake, is the fact that they. I enjoy the fact that they retcon some of the stuff, you know, how like, you know, the story changed, how they changed like some of the characters and all that other jazz. Like they made it a lot better. The first person and the tank controls being removed, but the major thing that they should have changed was the durability of the zombies. It should not have even a 9mm handgun should not take up to 8 headshots to splatter a zombie's head.
Yeah.
It is even specifically stated in the lore for Resident Evil that the main problem they had, besides the fact that they couldn't be controlled and that they fought and indiscriminately attacked like people that were allies as well as enemies, was the fact that they were so structurally unsound that they would literally falling apart the moment that they turned. That means that a single bullet would be enough to cause severe trauma to the head, which would in turn kill the zombie. Whereas in the game, if you've watched gameplay of people playing, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, the viewer has, or viewers, because the game has been so wide, and a shotgun point blank doesn't even take their head off all the time. Of course, a shotgun, I mean, come on. A normal person wouldn't have their head left if you point blank them with it.
Nah. and that
even the lickers, they have exposed brain tissue, and you still can't one-shot them with a handgun. And they're zombies as well.
That goes back to my thing too, you know, about biological reality.
Yeah,
you got to make it accurate.
You did make a point when we had our chit chats, because I harp about this all the time. You were like, a handgun wouldn't necessarily, like one shot wouldn't necessarily always cause penetration to a cranium. Yes, but if you're shooting in the eye sockets, the eyeballs are soft, squishy little, you know, mini organs. So a bullet's not going to be stopped very well by an eyeball. It's going to go sploosh, and the bullet's going to bounce around in your head.
Nose as well.
Yes, the nose cavity, and like shooting up underneath the jaw, stuff like that, or inside upwards of the mouth. And we have, with the new game setup, we have the capability to make those, you know, that much of a whatchamacallit, that much of accurate, you know, kills. But they're not capitalizing on it.
Yeah, it's like, even if you look at my gameplay, in my video and my gameplays, I was targeting the soft squishy bits, because I'm like, come on, you got to have done this.
Yeah, like even the joints weren't easy to blow off with. I mean, you know, a handgun would be bad, but you should be able to at least shatter a knee with one bullet, which wasn't happening.
And plus, you know, the fact that if a zombie takes a bullet to a knee, if a human takes a bullet to a knee, they're not walking. They're falling down and dragging that thing with them.
Yeah, exactly. But that didn't happen very well in that one, which basically I can kind of understand it. They couldn't change everything, I'm going to assume. I hope it's a works in progress for when they do, quote unquote, if they do decide to change up and, you know, remake all the other, like, Resident Evils. Resident Evil 1 and 0, please.
Yes. Oh, but, 0 especially.
Yes. Especially if they make it a co-op game. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
That would be perfect to make a co-op of that one.
Oh, yeah.
But I digress. They should just... They left it. They changed the tank controls. Thank you. They changed the fixed... Yeah, they changed the fixed camera angles. Thank you. That's the one reason why I wouldn't play those games. It was just the way that was set up.
Yeah.
But they left that, and it's like, it kind of makes me not want to play, because, you know, it takes me out of immersion.
And like you and I were talking about it too at one point, that sometimes that they're easy fixes. You know, they don't want the zombies to be too squishy and too easy to kill because they want them to be an actual threat. So, you know, armor. It's not like it would be that hard to give them like helmets and whatnot.
Yeah. Armor 1, 2, they could have made more zombies, and another trope that you had said, they could have made ammo a lot more scarce.
Yeah. Which, you know, is kind of a thing for survival horror games. Where's it? Okay.
Like, technically, it's what it should have been, the way it's set up, but it didn't end up that way, so, oh well. Just gonna have to suffer through it.
Yeah. So this might be a little bit divisive. Even I'm not entirely sure about my stance on this, but I hate when you don't get answers. Like Resident Evil is good because they tell you right away what caused this. You know where the zombies coming from.
I see where you're going at now.
But
yeah,
I hate it.
Good old T-virus.
I hate it so much when you don't get answers to like, oh, why are the zombies here? Why are the dead up and walking around? 'Cause zombie movie? No.
'Cause zombies. Because they're there. Because we can. Because it's the title of the movie.
They're like, look, you came into this movie knowing you wanted zombies, so just swallow the pill and be happy. No, I gotta know things. I'm a story writer. I write stories for a living, sort of. I need to know these things.
On the tail end of that, of your current your current subject, what is your favorite version of creationism for the zombie? Is it a parasitic kind of thing happening where we dug up some type of prehistoric worm or like a fungus, kind of like The Last of Us, where, yes, those are zombies, by the way, in my opinion.
Yes, because they are definitely dead.
Yes. Or is it like Dead Space, where it's an alien thing bringing back the dead, well, basically creating the corpses and then reconfiguring the flesh into new and grotesque monsters? Those are zombies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just those are hive mind zombies.
Yeah.
Or are you more into the like T-virus or green flu kind of thing of like the Resident Evil / Left 4 Dead?
I have always kind of been a bigger fan of man doing it to themselves. I've always liked the idea of the virus, and man created the virus and poisoned humanity with it. I've always liked that, but I can tell you which one I don't like. Curses.
Curses, yes. That would be around like Evil Dead kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And like the voodoo.
Mm-hmm. Evil Dead, voodoo, a lot of things like Egyptian zombies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Curse of the Walking Dead.
Emotep.
I'm not a big fan of those because they do away with a lot of the regular zombie
Tropes.
You know, tropes and whatnot. And some of the stuff that I really like the whole bite turns you thing.
Yeah.
If it's a curse, then you know you have to be within the vicinity of the curse, and it gives you a limited spread as well as a good number of other limitations, like the zombies themselves don't spread the virus.
Not Walking Dead, but Evil Dead kind of did it where if you're bitten, it passed the curse on, I think.
Yeah, they had that where you could, like, if you were near the incantation. I really don't understand the rules of the Evil Dead, but it was a fun movie. But like you could get it from a bite, an open wound. You could get it from being nearby. Oh yes, I don't think I actually know like the full rules of the Evil Dead. Like I watched the movie so many times, but I can never really truly figure it out because some people got it, some people didn't. Like Ash himself should have gotten it. Generally, the curses, if they don't do away with all of the tropes, like I like it, I'm okay with it. But I've always really liked the idea of, you know, man's folly, because that's kind of what zombies in pop culture represent from Mr. Romero himself.
True.
Is, man screwing themselves over, as it were.
What is your favorite man's folly depiction in movie, comic, game, such and such?
So many different choices.
Hard
As
to
much
pick,
as I
huh?
don't really, as much as I have issues claiming this one as a zombie one, freaking 28 Days Later.
I was about to say that, and I do consider 28 Days Later zombies because they are dead.
But they're still alive for a little while.
I'd say
can,
they're alive until you start plugging them full of bullets, and then they turn into true zombies because they don't go down unless you do destroy the head. So that's part of the reason why I consider them zombies. But the 28, I call it the 28 series. That is my favorite one because it's about as realistic as you're gonna get.
Oh, it's still good. Like,
Yes.
you don't have these supermodels running around in the end of the world,
Yeah.
You don't have people surviving off of candy bars and being perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You
Random
really feel
tidbit.
the desperation of it.
The random tidbit about that, they actually wanted to change. The original ending to 28 Days Later was a lot darker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The guy that played Scarecrow in Batman movies, that actor, his character was meant to die at the end of the movie. Yeah, there was different ways. Like, they had one where they end up taking him to a hospital because I think he gets shot or something, and they need to give him a blood transfusion, and I think they give him tainted blood on accident, and they leave him. Yeah, they leave him there, strapped to a gurney, turning, and the two girls run off. And then I think there's another one where he sacrifices himself for the two girls. Like, he uses himself as bait to prevent them from being eaten.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up, but I read it whenever I see some lore stuff that I want to, like, immerse myself in, like the 28 series. I eat every shred of information that I can get up.
Yeah. Good. And that was a good one, too.
The comics are amazing.
Yeah. I need to get more of those.
What was your least favorite depiction in any type of, like, genre for zombies? Like, what did you think was the worst depiction ever? It could be recent, or it could be, like, the original.
I'm trying to remember the exact name of it, but it was an homage to George Romero's Day of the Dead.
Is that Land of the Dead?
No, because that was actually still along the lines of George Romero. But it was actually like, it still had Day of the Dead in the title. But I couldn't remember.
Was that the recent one?
Fairly recent, like I'd say 2010, maybe a little later than that.
I didn't see that one. What did you not like about it?
Well, first of all, they put George Romero's name on it, and it was trash. It was a B movie. Like, I know his movies were B movies, but this one was like B movie of B movies.
Well, they were B movies because of the times.
Yeah. But first of all, the zombies were not Romero zombies.
They were runners, weren't they?
Not even just runners, but they were like spiders, freaking super fast, like not just like fast, but super fast.
So they were like, it was set up to like, they were like highly evolved and crazy kind of setup, huh?
Yeah, stuff like that. And
the stuff basically that we were talking about that we hated.
Yeah. I am not a fan. And of course, some of them were also green, so that was even worse. The funny part is, I say I hate green zombies, and one of my favorite, like Romero's one of my favorite zombie.
And he did green ones.
And he's done green ones, yeah. But
then again, that was the times.
Yeah. It's like the original Day of the Dead was the mall.
Yep. Wait,
No,
no,
sorry.
no, no, no.
Sorry, Dawn of
That
the
was
Dead. The
Dawn of the
original
Dead.
Dawn of the Dead was in the mall, too.
The day was the bunker.
Yeah, the bunker. The original Day of the Dead had the really, really cool, bunker aspect. We have military living alongside scientists who are trying to study this, and they had the zombie Bud. And the remake one, the homage one, had Bud, but Bud was like a learning zombie. There actually was another more recent remake to it. I just remembered.
Yup. That was the one I didn't see. I kind of wanted to watch it too, but I heard that one was really bad. I heard a lot of people were like, "Don't even bother."
Yeah, there was
when a lot of people say that, it's usually they're right.
Yeah, but there was another more recent one too that I didn't like that one either because of how it was portrayed, because they were trying to go along with the shock factor, and then the Bud was not a good character. But the Bud in this one was like just a sweetheart, and then they kind of convinced him to be nice because he was in love with the lady. But like the original one, you could really feel the sense of trapped, desolation within the bunker, and how nobody there could ever feel comfortable. And that was the thing I really love about Romero, was how he would pull so much emotion into these situations with very little more than just how he framed things and how the music would go, like the original Day of Dawn of the Dead, which in some parts really dragged on, but really added to, but was really actually kind of the point of it. Was after a certain time, things become routine, and you just start to kind of just lose yourself into it, and you see things like just the glazed look in the survivor's eyes and whatnot. And then the remake of the Day of the Dead that I'm talking about, I think it was like, it had an R word in it, like it was one of the R's, like remastered, not remastered, but reignited or reanimated, something like that. And
I'd say probably it was reanimated.
Probably. And because of they weren't able to actually capture any of Romero's like emotion in them.
Yeah.
And it really just kind of turned it into a just a generic B zombie movie. And don't get me wrong, they can be good sometimes, especially if you're just in it for the gore. And sometimes they can be surprisingly like deep. But
I like the aspect in terms of like, for me with horror, I like to see the psychological
I love the psychological
conflict. I want to see like how the human psyche is tested, and how the people are portrayed, and how they, let's say, how they adjust and absorb, and basically how they handle the apocalypse that they have gotten themselves into, or found themselves in. It really takes it out of me in my enjoyment if I find that they're sitting there and they're like, "Yay, we're having fun!" Like constantly. It's not like there's no real, like, I guess, like suffering slash like hardship. Yeah, no pressure. It just seems like it's not really a horror movie, you know? I mean, yeah, there are moments where you are having like fun, or you find moments to enjoy, because you need those in order to have the will to move on.
Right.
But when it's continuous and like too overused for a movie, then it kind of just like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
Yeah, it really drags you out of it.
Yeah, it just really pulls me out hard, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. You tried, game. You tried, movie. You tried.
Yeah.
It's another thing I really hate when it comes to some zombie movies is like grotesque for the sake of being grotesque. I know
Yeah.
with zombie you expect death and
Gore
zombies.
and
You expect that, and it's sort of just one thing.
mutilation.
But then, like, one of my favorite zombie movies, I cannot remember the name of it. I've only seen it once.
Describe it. I could probably figure it out.
It was, I want to say, English, made in London. The very little actual zombies in it. They just, like a couple of kids were making their way to the shore. Now, don't get me wrong, I hated the zombies in it. But, like, the zombies in it were kind of like, eh. But, you get to the end of it, and you feel like you actually went on this journey with these kids.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah.
It's not
Also,
ringing any bells.
oh, have you seen Cargo?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I was about to recommend it.
Oh, yeah, definitely watch that one. Oh, Cargo is amazing. And I love the actor. What's his name? I love the actor. What's his name?
That's the French movie, right? Was
Cargo?
it French?
No, Cargo's Australian.
Australian, okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was a foreign movie. I didn't know if it was how foreign it was, though.
Yeah. There was another French one, too, that I watched recently that was really good. It was French-Canadian, actually. What was that one's called? I don't remember what that one was called, but it's on Netflix, and it was really good.
I think I know what you're talking about. Were they, like, mutated and they were really fast? And they were in, the survivors were in an ambulance?
No, I know that one, but I haven't seen that one.
Okay.
I started watching that one, but I never finished it because we didn't have time to try to read. We had to eat dinner.
Yeah, don't you hate that, having to read subtitles?
Yeah.
I've trained myself to watch a movie in my peripherals so I can read the dialogue.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of that one, but it was good too. And that one was like emotional and weird at the same time, so.
What's your favorite comedic version of zombies?
Torn between two of them. Zombies and Zombievers. Was it Zombievers? No. It's the one with the tactical bacon in it.
Zombieland?
No. Zombieland was great, though.
I don't know about the tactical bacon one. That sounds unfamiliar to me.
The zombie plague was spread by mosquitoes. I don't think it was Zombievers, because Zombievers was, I think, dumb.
I didn't watch Zombievers either.
Yeah, Zombievers was dumb.
I have to say, my favorite comedy version of zombies is a three-way mashup between the Evil Dead series. Now, hear me out. It's basically the pure comedy of it. I know it's supposed to be over the top, but, they're still zombies. They're demonic zombies, though, but it's hilarious. Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, I love Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
You've got red on you.
Yeah. Oh, Sean, you got red on you. And the last one would be, of course, Zombieland.
I heard there's a sequel coming out.
They're getting to do a sequel, yeah. Beat me to that.
I wish I could remember what the other one was called. But it was hilarious because there was this one guy, this guy who was getting married, got his friends out going camping, and then it was a curse zombie sort of thing, but they didn't get rid of all the tropes. What was I saying? But this guy, his fiance and his friends all go camping, and the one friend is like the ultimate jock dude bro type, and then he's like a kind of nervous little
Ooh,
nervous little kid type. Like
uh-huh.
he's always trying to make everyone happy.
Yeah. The crowd pleaser.
Right. Nerd, sort of, but not.
Yeah. The one the outcasts want to be fit in.
Yeah, but he's that type, and there's also like a zombie hunter out in the woods, and he has the tactical bacon, which is literally just bacon in a can. And I looked it up, and you can actually buy that stuff too. Tactical bacon. It's got a picture of a gun on the front.
So, in The Last of Us, that means that one hunter had tactical bacon. Because there is a hunter that will talk to another hunter in Pittsburgh, and he talks about him finding canned bacon.
Yep. I kind of want to buy it and do a video on it sometime.
Oh, when you're
She ate what videos? Shoot, that one was good. Zombies was like a story about a bunch of kids who didn't know they were zombies.
I didn't see that one. I haven't heard of that one either.
Oh, there's this great scene where the guy, he pulls down his pants and his member falls off, and you don't actually see any of it, but they do a really good allusion to it. It's hilarious. And he goes to talk to his friend. It's like, have you ever had this happen to you? He's like, what? No.
My other, let's see. There was one that was is a foreign movie. It was supposed to be a horror aspect, but it ends up being campy horror, kind of like Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's called Dead Snow.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. I've seen the first one. No, I've seen the second one.
There is a part in the movie where one of the guys, he's fighting one of the Nazis, some of the Nazi zombies, that's what the enemies are. They're Nazi zombies. They're reanimated, and they're out. I forgot where they're at, but it's like they're in a foreign area. They're skiing and stuff, so they're out in the mountains. I think it might be the Alps or something.
Swiss.
But yeah, there you go. Yeah. So they're fighting. He's fighting the zombies. I think he's got a chainsaw and he's like buzzsawing them in half and stuff like that. And he's got this machoism kick where he's just like, yeah, I'm overpowered. Yeah, I'm a god. And one of them bites him in the hand, so like he cuts the head off, and then he's like gives like the quick like breathing, and he cuts his arm off and to prevent himself from being infected, and he like tourniquets it, and he's like, yes. I survived, and then another one just comes out of the snow out of nowhere and bites him in the crotch, and he kills that zombie, and then he looks at his crotch, and he's like, ah! Because he looks at the chainsaw, he's like, what am I going to do now? I can't do that. Here's a biting question for you. Do you believe that you could survive a zompocalypse? And if so, which kind of zompocalypse?
Oh, okay. So this is a tricky question of sorts. Now, a Romero zombie apocalypse, I'm pretty sure I could make do in.
Well, yeah, because they're shamblers. And they're not too smart.
Yeah, I am not the most physically fit person in the world anymore. Not like I used to be. So it's a little bit of an issue with me trying to hang with the more active zombies.
The runners, like The Last of Us and the Evil. Not the Evil with them, but The Last of Us, Resident Evil with some of them. The
Crimson Heads.
Well, the mutations would cause problems, because it's not just humans that are infected, but you have to have the dogs. You've got the lickers, which are now humans.
What were they originally?
They were reptilian.
Yeah. I feel like they were just lizards.
Yeah, it was reptilian and human DNA. It was like they injected, or they spliced in reptilian DNA into human embryos, and then they ended up growing them.
Yeah.
I think that's how the lore goes for that. But they ended up retconning it. It's now a V-Act mutation with the T epsilon virus. Basically, it's a different strain of mutation as opposed to the Crimson Head.
Gotcha. So instead of going crimson, they go
liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I was really worried about the first time around when that game first came out. I was like, oh god, if we're gonna have to deal with liquors and Crimson Heads, that's gonna be a bad combination.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I'm just glad that they didn't do Crimson Heads and they didn't do the spiders.
That was one I was very glad about. I didn't like the spiders. They were jerks.
No, me neither. Yeah, especially the poison acid spit.
Mm-hmm.
What would be, in your opinion, if you had to choose which zompocalypse to, experience / live through, which one would you choose?
Well, I mean, I'd have to go with one I'd actually be able to manage. But to be perfectly honest, there's some parts of the other ones that I would really like to kind of experience, so to speak. Like, shoot, have you read my story?
I've read part of it. I will admit I have not gotten to it all the way. I have to knuckle down and read it. I've gotten a good portion of it, though.
Yeah, I really like that story. I mean, it's technically it follows the rules of zombie lore, but some of it
I kind of got the gist of that.
Yeah, some of it's like very I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a little detached where you have people don't think about what happens to the person when they die and become a zombie, because naturally we all have our own answers and whatnot, where they're like, oh well, we don't want to leave them trapped in this form, we don't want to let them turn. And well, I kind of played a little bit on that, because you don't really see any people really playing with that, and I kind of want to see, like, I'm doing quotation marks, but I kind of want to experience a world like that somewhat. Not really, but I think it'd be interesting.
I got another question I just thought of right now. What is your stance in the event if there was a zompocalypse and someone was bitten? Is it dispose of them quickly, or otherwise remove them from the group, or B, try to save them / figure out if they're immune to the sickness / whatever it is that is causing it?
This does often raise the question, though, because in any good zombie story, you cannot have your heroes know about zombies. I mean, you can have kind of like zombies are a thing, but you can't really have them knowledgeable about it. But, of course, the obvious. If I go into this world, do I know about zombies? So we're going to go with the fact, like, I've been here for a while, and now I've seen a lot. Mm-hmm. And it comes down to what's around me, who's around me. Like, if I'm in a well-established camp, and, I have a good armed guard, and a good, like, contingent of, armed people, then I have no problems keeping somebody alive to keep an eye on them, but keeping an eye on them.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm, like, a nomadic group of just a few, and I cannot keep a good watchful eye on everybody at all times, then no. I'm offing them.
I hear you.
It's very contingent on how I'm doing in places. What about you?
I'm probably in the same boat as you. Originally, I would, I guess initially I would take a slash and burn policy in terms of, if they're infected, they can't be part of the group anymore. But then that also goes into account, like, what if it was a family member?
Yeah.
What if it was a loved one or, like, a very close friend?
Yeah.
That's where the slash and burn policy literally burns you, because they get sick. You can't bend or break the rule for them and expect the entire group to stick together.
Yeah.
So that is where that would happen. I don't know, actually. I think it would depend on how bad it is for the situation. Like, if we're, like, besieged left and right, like you said, like, if we're in a high stress situation where day-to-day living is difficult, then probably no, I would not allow any infected people to stay with the group, even if they were quarantined off. I
Mm-hmm.
probably would end up either killing them or, well, I probably would just do the mercy killing.
Mm-hmm. Show mercy, or give 'em mercy, as they
Yeah,
say in Z
in Z
Nation.
Nation. Yeah, that one's getting a prequel, by the way.
Ah, nice.
And the thing about it is, it's going to give, I believe it's going to give Walking Dead for a run for its money because instead of it being campy horror like Z Nation was,
Mm-hmm.
it's delving into the seriousness. Like it's going hardcore, like actual horror trope.
Ooh.
So I think this is going to be good, and it deals with the prequel. It's called Black Summer.
Ah. Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah,
Campiness.
I was
and all.
upset. Yeah, I was upset to find out that they were not renewing it, but we're getting a prequel, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen all of it because I think what are they up to 5 seasons?
Yeah, the fifth season's the last one.
Yeah, I think I've seen 3 seasons.
I think all of it's on Netflix.
Yeah, pretty sure because they were pretty quick about putting them up there.
Yep. Yeah, we finished it. Me and my girlfriend finished it. Yeah, it's all on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the prequel Black Summer is a Netflix original. So.
Ooh, even better.
Yep. Because usually the Netflix originals are really good.
Yeah.
Me for Zompocalypse, basically, I've actually had a talk with my girlfriend with this because we with watching Z Nation and stuff like that. We have both come to the conclusion that if they're runners or if it's like Resident Evil where it's like rampant mutation where it infects everything, not just people, like plants and animals, I probably am gonna locate the nearest explosive device and or like firearm and off myself. I'm gonna take.
Coming with me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. No, I'm not even that. I'm just gonna check myself out.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna. There's no contest.
Yeah. Situations like that just a bit too hopeless for me to actually want to try to survive in.
Yeah. Or if it was like something like Alien, like Dead Space, I'd be like, yeah, peace out.
Yeah.
Now, if it was like you said, Romero, like that's I consider that easy mode too much. But then again, you go into the campy Night of the Living Dead movies, and then that trope where they're pretty much invincible. You can even destroy the head, and their bodies still run around. So, and then cremating them creates more.
Yep.
So that would be another one I wouldn't want to deal with.
No, although, get that dang screwdriver out of my head.
Great. Send more paramedics.
Wait, who's the president?
That's that's one where campy and it being like really stupid was actually enjoyable.
Yeah. I still watch those from time to time just because they're just funny.
I think probably another one of my least favorite things in terms of the zombie trope, which is also pans into every horror like aspect, is the fact that people like they go to kill the enemy and then they go really close to like poke the body just to see if it's really dead.
Yeah. Stupid heroes, as it were.
It's not even heroes, it's just stupid people.
Mm-hmm. It's like I can kind of forgive some things, but after a while, you watch enough horror and you can basically peg the each of the characters. Okay, this one's going to be the jerk. Okay, this one's going to be the hero. This one's going to survive.
Yeah. This one's going to die.
Mm-hmm. This one's probably going to get other people killed.
Yeah, this one's going to go bonkers.
Train to Busan. Oh, Train to Busan.
Yeah, we just finished that one.
Oh, I love that one.
I do recommend it. I
Yes.
didn't look up whether or not there was going to be a sequel, but I did hear something about. I think they're doing a VR game for it. That's going to be friggin' scaretastic.
Yeah, that was such a good movie.
That one, I have a love-hate relationship with Train to Busan.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed it, yes. They did really well with the zombie setup. They did really well with the characters. But,
But.
oh my god, some of the stupid shit they pulled. Like, the dad didn't have to. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
The dad didn't have to die at the end.
I agree.
The one thing, you could even ask my girlfriend if you like whenever you were to meet her and stuff. When
I haven't
we were
met her
watching
yet.
Train to Busan, yeah, yeah. Well, when we were watching Train to Busan, the entire time at the end where they're sitting on the train and they're like, "Oh my God, we survived it." They're like breathing, sighing relief. I'm like, "Get in the cable car. Get in the cable car. Why are you out? Get inside. You are not out of the woods yet," is my literal words. And lo and behold, chomp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, another trope I'm not a fan of for zombies. I just remembered. For zombies, another trope that I don't like is when they have the epitomal happy ending, everything's fine, Zombies, in my opinion, it's not supposed to be fine. The world is ended.
Yeah. I mean, I hate when horror movies in general have happy endings because,
Yes.
I mean, for one thing, I sit there and I think about, this ain't going to end happily. You got that one
After
survivor
effects.
lady. You got that one survivor lady. Everyone else is dead. All of her friends are gone. She is going to be living a very traumatic life with survivor's guilt if she doesn't just off herself in the first
Yeah.
week.
Not to mention like the PTSD that you're going to be dealing with, and the
Yeah.
inability to cope and or like just reorient yourself into society.
hmm And zombie movies just take it to the next level. Zombie stories in general, you cannot have a happy ending when the entire world is walking corpses.
Yes.
And I hate it when they try to make these happy. I know it's not so much always the director's fault.
Yeah.
People are a little too afraid to, push the envelope, as it were. And
I gave a cheer at the end of the Dawn of the Dead remake when like they get on the island after all that hardship and they're like, "Yay, we found an island," and they're like, "Oh, well, we gotta be quiet and careful," and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like the dog gets them killed.
Still zombies.
Which the dog was the most annoying character in that entire. Well, not the most annoying. I'd say the girlfriend, the one that like was like Chips, gotta save Chips. Everything's about Chips. Not talking about potato chips. The dog's name is Chips.
Yeah. That was one of those. I mean, dogs in the zombie apocalypse can be kind of a good thing, but for the most part, not little yappy ones.
No. Well, that wasn't a little yappy one. It was a yappy one. It was a medium-sized yapper.
Yeah. Actually made me think about another one that broke my heart.
What's that?
I Am Legend. I mean, I know that's probably more vampire than zombie, but that broke
that
my
one's
heart.
not technically supposed to be a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you know about the book compared to the movie.
Yeah, that's one book that I meant to read because a friend of mine read it way back when I was in high school, but I never actually read it myself. And then I saw the movie. I'm like, hey, my friend read this book. He said it was
I kind
good.
of don't want to spoil it for you. Do you plan on reading it anytime soon?
Anytime soon? Well, I'd like to at some point, but honestly, I don't think I ever will.
Okay. Well, basically, the guy that Will Smith plays, that guy, He's really the villain of the entire story.
Oh, I actually knew that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, at the end of the book version, he figures out that he's literally like, oh, I'm the bad guy, and I think he kills himself because he sees the way that the turned people interact with each other, and he sees that basically they've evolved, and that they've made their own society, and that he's clinging to a society that's no longer alive.
That dog part in I Am Legend was.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking moment, in my opinion. I don't like it whenever animals die in movies.
Same. Especially useless, pointless deaths.
Yeah. Basically just there to give you...
To break your heart.
An emotional tick.
Well,
Let's see, any other things?
Well, we're about at time. All right. Well, I think we should start wrapping this up, but... If you guys ever want us to do a part 2 of this, make sure to let us know. We probably will, because I know we can talk for hours on zombie stuff. We literally just
any other tropes.
Yep. Oh, shoot, man. I can talk for hours on almost any sort of pop culture media. I'm good at that.
Yep.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please go and poke that like button for us. If you'd like to see more from us, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and of course check out our channels. And totally next time when we'll talk about something else. If you have any options, what was it I said in the last podcast? If you have any subjections, make sure to leave them down in the comment section down below.
Suggestions?
Yeah. But when I was trying to say suggestions, I kept saying subjections.
Oh. Were you trying to say objections and suggestions at the same time?
I was trying to say subjects and suggestions.
Oh.
So we got subjections.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we'll get back to you as soon as we can, when we can, if we can. You know all that jazz. And tune in next time for another chit-chatty podcast from the Babbling Beards. And until then...
Later.
And we'll catch you later. Good night.